There are lots of ways you can provide your students with feedback and grades within assignments in Teams. For example, when you first open a piece of student work, you are in what's called editing mode. So this is as if you are editing the document yourself. If you go to the top of the screen here where it says editing, if you click here, you can actually switch to review mode. And that just means any comments that you add onto here or into the document will be highlighted as added by you, so it doesn't look like the student's work. So as you can see now, this point here is highlighted in red and it has the teacher's name on it, so the student knows it's not their own work. Another thing you can do if you don't want to edit the document too much, you could select and you can right click and you can add a comment. So a comment will come down the side of the screen and you could suggest improvements here or encourage the student to elaborate further. So this creates a thread which the student could actually reply to, and you can have a little bit of a conversation there, which is great for coursework. When you're providing overall feedback, you can simply provide that as text, but you can add quite a lot of rich content to your feedback. Underneath the feedback box, you see you've got a couple of options. So the first thing we can do is bring up a camera. So that this will bring up your webcam. You can make sure that your webcam and your microphone are on here and click the settings to check. Once you hit record, you'll get a quick countdown. And then you could give spoken feedback, verbal feedback to the student, which they may find a lot more engaging than reading through notes. You can pause it, have a little bit of a think about what you want to talk about next, and then continue recording. And you can see here that you have a timer up to 5 minutes. So it's 5 minutes maximum in which you can speak to the student. Once you're happy, if you hit pause, you can then review and you can watch it back quickly. But you also have the editing bars here, so you can slide in the beginning and the end if it just needs editing and shortening up a little bit. Once you're happy, you can click publish here. And you do have to give it a name. Once it's named, click upload to attach it to the feedback. So click done, and now the student, once you have returned that, they will be able to click on the video and just get some video feedback. So you do have further options here too. You have the attach button, and this opens up lots of different areas where you can attach resources from. So this is really useful if you think about the types of assignments you might be setting. If you're setting some practical work that you can evidence using lots of different formats. So you might be a music teacher who set a deadline for a music performance using assignments in Teams, and then on the day you are recording those and saving the audio files. So you might save those into OneDrive, and then you can attach them for each student. Similarly, with things like art, you might want to take pictures or videos of the final piece of artwork, but you've used Teams to remind students of that deadline. But by attaching that in, the student can then look at their final piece of work and reflect upon it while looking at your feedback at the same time. And as a teacher, you've got all of that logged in grades in Teams, so you can go back and look at the student's work at any time. So it really opens up what you can use assignments for, and you can attach the evidence into the assignment. You see, you can also add a link if you want to, so anything external from another website. But you can also bring up Teams. So if you've been logging those marks or evidence within a class team in the teachers only area, for example, you can get to that. Or if you are working together as a department to save this evidence, you can go into your subject teams. So the English department, for example, and view things like the staff resources area or those year group libraries. So these buttons really open up your options for giving feedback and logging assignment work too. There is also the plus button, so if you don't feel you've got enough space either using comments on the page or the feedback area on the right hand side, if you press the plus button, you could attach a whole new Word document that you might want to write something up. You could use an Excel spreadsheet, PowerPoint, and there's whiteboard there too. So let's just switch into student view and see what the student can now see in their assignments. So that this is just in Teams, and you'll see here the student has lots of options of what they can view. So the feedback, just the written feedback, is there for them to read. But now we also have the video that they can watch. And if you have evidenced any practical work, that will be attached into the assignment as well. They'll also still be able to go back into their work here, and they can see any edits you've made to the document. Comments are here too. So now let's take a look at the grades area so we can see all of that content. Even though the assignment has long been completed, if we go into the Year 11 class team, we can now go into the grades area. So you'll be able to go back into any previous work. Just navigate to the student you want to view. The 3 dots here. If we open student work, anything that I attached in terms of feedback or rich content or external files will all be saved here, and we can go back over them at any time. If you'd like to learn more about how Cloud Design Box can help your teachers attach their long-term resources to assignments within Microsoft Teams, then visit our website at clouddesignbox.co.uk.